Hi, I am an advertiser, and that's probably why some of you look at me with a shade of doubt. So I've often been told that advertising is the science of arresting human intelligence long enough such that you can get some money out of it. So I don't really blame you. And why not? We've convinced the world that a bag of chips half filled with air is worth paying 1/5 of India's GDP per capita per day on. We make most people in this room believe that sweetened water can actually make you happier. And we've even convinced many that smoking something that actually causes you cancer can make you feel like a cowboy perched atop a handsome horse. That is powerful stuff. And hold that thought for a second and imagine what you can do with that power. So my lot is a lot of powerful persuaders. And no disrespect to those who've helped build this profession. We've helped brands grow, create memories for millions with our ad films and our slogans, and sold millions of products. And I think that for a lot of people around the world, these memories that we've created have made the world a better place. But at the juncture that we're at today, brands, I think now, have a new role to play. One that makes the world a better place, not just due to sensory and emotional cues, but also due to action. So here's a thought. How can brands transition themselves to stop creating ads and start creating acts of good? Consider this. A neighborhood in South Africa recently set up its own pop-up store for the homeless. The homeless never really have a choice, come to think of it. They never really have a choice on what kind of clothes they get to choose or what kind of shoes they get to choose. And this neighborhood wanted them to experience that. They wanted to experience what shopping is like. So they created a pop-up store that had nothing, virtually nothing, except a bunch of hangers and shoe racks, and empty hangers and shoe racks, mind you. All that people had to do is fill up these hangers and shoe racks with the stuff that they could bring from their homes. And fill up they did. These hangers were filled up right up to the brim, often overflowing almost. So homeless people who never escaped the adage of beggars can't be choosers, for the first time in their life, had the right to choose. And the smile that it brought on their face was fantastic. Now, when I looked at this as an advertiser, I asked myself, I said that this is a powerful story and a powerful thought. And I asked myself, why could a brand not take up this action? Why could a brand not make this story happen and not tell this story? Perhaps Good Day Biscuits could do it. I mean, they're in the business of making people smile and have a good day, so I thought it was a perfect fit for them. There's the other interesting story of an initiative right here in the city of Mumbai that's got everybody talking. It's called Share a Dabba. So basically the way it works is that if you've got extra food in your tiffin, you put a little tag on that tiffin and title it Share My Dabba. And this organization intervenes, swoops the excess food out of your tiffin, and takes that food right to those who can barely afford even one meal a day. It's a little bit of goodness, some fun with sharing, and a whole lot of fun. I looked at it and I said that this is probably something that Domino's could take up and could easily popularize across India. Domino's is about the joy of sharing food. At least that's what they're saying in their ads today. And this sort of fits right in. The thought of sharing your food and the thought of sharing this food with somebody who you can make happy just fits right in. It's probably not in the same context of pizza, but it's seamless. And there are a lot of these ideas that brands can take up. These ideas that brands can popularize, and rather than just create ads, they can also create acts of good. So there's some other ideas that I've been toying with. We see a lot of our streets actually spit and peed upon, and it's kind of sad as well as shameful. And what if we could replace some of these walls with mirrors? So that way, if someone's peeing on the streets or spitting on the streets, they're actually spitting on their own faces or peeing on themselves. And it's easier to clean off as well. So I can see any brand that takes pride in keeping things clean take this initiative up. Or another idea, a garbage bin that disposes a 1 rupee song that you can listen to every time you put 500 grams of garbage in the bin. And I guess a mobile provider could take that up. And of course, people defecate in the open because of improper facilities. And I can bet whatever money I would have in my pocket at this point in time, that a bathroom fittings brand who is able to create a make-sense portable solution to solve this problem for the masses at large will build a household name faster than any amount of TV advertising will allow it to. So think about it. The opportunities are endless. The opportunities for brands to participate in society and create acts of good are endless. And yet we see so little stuff in the open being championed by brands. So you're probably asking yourself, yeah, sure. So what's in it for brands and corporations spending all this time, energy, and effort? I mean, at the end of the day, they exist for a profit motive, right? There are a bunch of brands making this difference, and the signs are telling. Every year, 2 million children fail to reach the age of 5 because of diseases like diarrhea and pneumonia. And it's believed that the simple act of washing your hands can help erase or at least lighten the burden of this tragedy. Lifebuoy initiated a mission that helps more children reach their 5th birthday. And while they're spending a lot of their time investing in these initiatives in villages in Karnataka, they also release the story of a father who walks for kilometers, not on his feet, but on his 2 hands. And he walks on his hands for kilometers to his neighboring village just to offer prayers to this deity in this neighboring village, because after years, one of his children has reached the age of 5. So while they're also investing in initiatives, they're also raising the right kind of awareness. I had the fortune to be a part of a team crafting one such initiative and story for a brand. We started with the startling fact that about 75,000 of India's villages survive in darkness daily. They have no access to electricity. These villages were identified by Garnier Men, a men's grooming brand who decided to set aside 1/5 of their online marketing budget to help bring solar power to some of these villages. Our foot soldiers took this solar power to approximately 40 of these 75,000 villages. It was small, I know, but it's a start. And very importantly, we also told the story of Om. And this was instead of an ad. Let's take a look at it.
पाच एके पाच दुने पाच त्रिक बुड़ जाए पुर जाए देख कबीरा बगुलाया है देख कबीरा मन चंचल तन मुजियारा है कागा काको धन ले जाए देख कबीरा हर मन की माया दीप जलाए देख कबीरा
आई पूरे गांव के नाक में दम कर रखा है। चल घर अभी चल।
दीदी आप कह रही थी ना आपको बहुत पढ़ाई करनी है। अब आप पूरी रात पढ़ाई कर सकती हो।
So the first thing that we were asked after we told the brand, spend 1/5 of your marketing budget on electrifying villages and don't worry about, don't create your next ad, create a story instead. The first question that we were asked is this going to help the brand? Did it actually help the brand? So Power Light is actually a franchise of Garnier Men. So we literally interpreted Power Light and made the association of a solar light being a light with never-ending power. Every mention of the campaign cued the product. It actually helped the brand move sales up in the year of the campaign without any advertising. And it generated thousands of relevant conversations, 4 million to be precise. I'll admit it didn't move anybody else to take up the cause out of the people viewing this particular campaign, or at least I haven't heard of the same. But I'm glad that it got a few people to sit up and take notice, and maybe sowed a seed to undertake some acts of good. So that got me thinking. There's also something in this for brands, more than something. I set out to index all the ads that actually do good with their stories and their actions, and compared it with ads from similar categories who don't. And I found that these ads and acts had 30 times more unpaid views. People were watching them. And they also had 100 times more conversation and chatter around them. So people love talking about them. And I think that's a perfectly rational economic incentive to make brands do good. At the end of compiling this do-good index, I also gave myself a small high-five on behalf of humanity. So basically, sometime in the future, I really wish and hope that when you're sitting and enjoying while sipping your cola and refreshing its great taste, I hope that it also reminds you to make a stranger, a group of people, or the world in general a better place. And if I have to ask one thing of this audience, it's that when you have a great job or are steering a big company, make sure you make your brand like Michael Jackson. Make it do less ads and more acts. In other words, to the CEOs of tomorrow, make your brands create ideas worth spreading. Thank you.